Hello everyone. I know it's been a while since I made my last video. I think the last one I made was in April. Since then, I've been going through a lot of life changes. Moved over to North Carolina to attend Duke. Very happy about that, getting settled into the area. Also been dealing with a lot of pre-NBA activities, things like going to the consortium's OP event. I believe that was in Seattle this year. Doing some pre-NBA recruiting for Bain and BCG, things of that nature. They're very aggressive with how they like to recruit sometimes. So really just getting settled in, and a bit of laziness on my part. It happens. But I'm here now. I want to make some more videos for you guys. And I think today's video is going to be an interesting one. It's probably going to be the first of many videos I make. Probably going to make a playlist. I'm not sure what to call it yet. Either like some kind of call to arms, assembling the Legion, maybe just the world needs good people. Not sure yet. But I want to go ahead and try to get into the subject of this video. I want this video to be about Pandora's box problems. And I guess a brief summary of what Pandora's box even is. It is effectively the Greek version of Eve eating the forbidden fruit and unleashing sin upon humanity. Effectively, Pandora was the first human woman, and she was blessed with intelligence and curiosity, and she was given this box by the gods and told not to open it. And because she had curiosity, of course, she had to. She didn't know what was in it. And when she opens the box, all of the evils and terrors of the world get unleashed, and they cannot be put back in the box. Once they're out, they're out. The only thing left in there was hope. And the reason I bring this story up is because there are real life examples of Pandora's boxes. Two very good examples are the nuclear bomb, and a more modern example would be artificial intelligence. Quick interjection here. I just want to make sure I'm clear that this isn't just about emerging technologies or physical things. This also applies to institutions and systems as well, such as the government or the police force. These are things that need to exist, and they're going to exist whether you want them to or not, and it's best that you are involved in them instead of trying to fight them at every turn. Going back to the more historic example of the nuclear bomb, once we knew about radiation and how nuclear reactions worked, and once we had the technology for nuclear reactors, the nuclear bomb was effectively inevitable. Really, the only really big difference between a nuclear reaction and a nuclear bomb, in a very simplified way, is the time frame at which all that energy gets released. With a nuclear bomb, it's all at once. With a nuclear reactor, it's over some number of days, weeks, months. And unfortunately, it's something that was going to get created no matter what. Whether you believe the world is a better place with or without nuclear bombs, the fact of the matter is, it was going to exist no matter what. Even if the US didn't create it, there were other independent programs to create a nuclear bomb that are very likely to have done it, maybe just not as soon. And artificial intelligence, I believe, is the same way. I believe there's too much potential for progress and technological efficiencies that come from artificial intelligence to just ignore its presence. And attempting to ban something like that in your country really will only set you behind. You are facing competition from other societies, other civilizations, and other groups that you really can't afford to ignore something with that much potential. The potential they have justifies their own existence. And the simple fact of the matter is, attempting to limit the technology or ban it or in some way snuff it out could honestly lead to even worse suffering down the line from other groups that weren't so timid about it. Once again, I bring up the nuclear bomb. Just historically, look at the countries that did and did not develop their own nuclear programs and have nuclear weapons today. And also look at countries that had nuclear weapons or had the capability to produce them very quickly and instead chose not to, and see what their outcomes have been since the 40s and 50s. And I think these historical examples kind of prove my point. The reason I bring up this type of problem is because you're better off controlling and harnessing these forces or these technologies than you are trying to get rid of them. And the world has good and evil people. I genuinely believe that evil is very real and evil people are real, and they actively seek out positions of power. And what you really don't want is for good people to be too timid to control these industries, which leaves room for evil people to come in instead. Thankfully, I believe we had level-headed, generally good people in control of nuclear programs historically. If you had people who simply didn't care or simply were only in it for their own selfish means, perhaps we have a very different outcome historically. Same thing goes with AI and the direction it could go. If you're a good person and you're intelligent, my call to you is to try to involve yourself in these industries if they interest you, or try to see if they could interest you, because it's much better if you're in control of these things than if someone random who could be nefarious is instead. To give you an example or a hypothetical, I want you to think of the world of cyberpunk if you're familiar with it. It's kind of a dystopian corporate hellhole. Imagine what the world of cyberpunk could be with a more optimistic lens and the technologies they have in that world, and what that could really be like if it had better people running the show. And you can start to see how the same technologies that create these dystopias could also be used to create a utopia, or at the very least, a much better society than what you're being presented with. I'm actually interested to hear from you guys. Are there any other Pandora's box problems that you guys can think of? What are your thoughts on people pursuing these potentially immoral or potential for immoral industries instead of what they might naturally be gravitated to? Do you think that evil, immoral people are going to be naturally attracted to these industries? Are they currently in them? And how is that making our society look? I really want to hear you guys' thoughts on this, so like, comment, subscribe to the channel. I'll be trying to upload more often, and I've got some interesting concepts coming out pretty soon.